So, I have a question. Why are Misty Knight's coworkers a bunch of fucking school children? Those are police officers. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the dad jokes were pretty strong.
Oh my, that's not even the dad jokes. It's like it's the way they. One, it's like you've never seen someone with a physical ailment before, and two, it's like it's got one arm. It's all very yuck. Like you're all a bunch of slack-jawed morons.
It's all played off like an Abbott Costello bit.
Yeah.
It would make more sense if they were like, if they didn't make the jokes, because they could be like, oh shit, because she technically lost her arm on the job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also,
like,
that dude who walked by her and said, "Need a hand?" That dude deserves an ass kicking.
well, she hasn't.
When she gets her cyborg arm, she can do that.
Tell him to turn his head and cough.
But here's the thing: it's like she gets like made fun of for losing her arm, which is like whatever. Like people are dicks.
Right.
But then like she gets this really awesome robot arm, and then people still make fun of her for it. And I'm like, if a coworker of mine,
I was hoping it would end. You're telling me now that it doesn't.
If a coworker of mine like came in and she had like a robot arm, I'd be like, can you like crush like cinder blocks with it?
Yeah,
like,
here's a soda can. Spush it. Yeah.
Can we like test this out? Like, hey, I'm really sorry, but like, does this give you like way better high fives? Like, can you like measure it like on the distance so you know? Like, can your arm calculate like the perfect high five?
Or will you crush every bone in my hand when you give me a high five?
There's a hand job joke somewhere in here.
Oh wow, thanks Hunter for those low-hanging fruit.
Hunter's on fire today.
Anyway, hi everybody.
2.
This is our first part 1 of our Netflix. Let me try it again. Hi, I'm Phantom Zone. This is Connor. This is our Luke Cage season 2 review part 1. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
good at this.
our second ever review of Luke Cage.
Yeah, because the first, what was it? The last half of season 1 is the recording of that is in the ether. It's gone.
Yes, it's gone.
That's one
It's
day. Just
it's
like
in the
last
deepest
half
levels of the Phantom
the
Zone.
one shouldn't have.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, of all the episodes that had to be Genesis, that one had to go. It wasn't even bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Connor McGraw. We have a 5-6 man house. What's happening? I don't even know.
5-man, I thought.
Oh, that's right.
5-man.
Eric's not here yet. He hasn't creeped me out with something.
No, he's busy building a house.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Being more of a man than we are.
This is true. This is accurate.
Okay, so Hunter Davenport here, back from Canada. Trudeau kicked me out.
Okay then. A Haro as usual.
I'm John Seiler. Can I get a printout of Oyster smiling?
Wait, what?
Oh, I was just on Reddit, and they were talking about how like that bit from Tim and Eric is like 8 years old with Ant-Man, and it's like Celery Man.
I don't think I watched enough Tim and Eric to ever make it that far.
It's free real estate.
I don't think I like Tim and Eric.
Me neither. But I'm
All right,
Luke
Connor
Gonzalez.
is now fired.
Are you sure you're a real Adult Swim fan, Connor? Are you
That
sure?
was actually when I was like, well, you canceled all the shows I like, and now I'm just left with this show, and I'm really resentful about it.
Yeah, that and Too Many Cooks.
Damn.
Too Many Cooks is so good.
Oh, sorry, Leo.
Did you see the follow-up?
I know. I'm just letting all the white people talk while they're doing a review of the show with all black people.
Listen, I will call
Damn.
I will call the cops on you.
So, well, I was gonna say I'm Luke Gonzalez. How do we do, my brothers?
I'm distorted. They refused.
You're the only one that can do that.
I was playing Ultimate Alliance last night with my friend, and we were just doing it back and forth. He also happens to be black.
I actually booted up Ultimate Alliance today too because I've just kind of been in like since Infinity War, been kind of riding a nice little Marvel high. So I picked it up again, and those games are still really fun. I wish X-Men Legends existed in some form where I could play it right now.
That's exactly, we were talking about that. Then the Apocalypse, the sequel, was awesome too.
Yeah,
they're all the same.
It's all the same shit. Yeah, it's 4-player Diablo.
Yeah. The graphics are just so hilariously bad.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah, we did the first one. It was we fought Winter Soldier and Radioactive Man.
Yeah, I remember
Which
just
is
the
which is a
the
weird
hell-
pair up if you think about it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the end level boss was what was it? It was the giant dragon.
Everyone in all the villains you fight on the way to the main boss of each level is like some of the most laughable Marvel Z-list characters you'll ever come across.
You fight Fing Fang Foom at the end of the first
Yeah,
level.
that's what
Yes,
I
you
meant.
do.
That's the dragon. Yeah, you
Um,
fight Scorpion, Bullseye, then it's Radioactive Man, Winter Soldier, then Fing Fang Foom.
Also, it's like the kind of the cool thing about Ultimate Alliance. It's like a game where you have like all the designs for the superheroes that don't have like their like movie costumes.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
like it's like, hey, it's a Radioactive Man with his really bad outfit, not
Oh
like
yeah, everyone's got delightfully horrible comic book outfits, and the cool thing is for your heroes, you can pick one of 4 horribly amazing comic book outfits.
Yeah.
Most of the characters start with their ultimate version because I think the first one came out at the same time.
Yeah,
that
and I detest that Ultimate Iron Man look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But the
but
Thor one
also
was
Moon Knight
cool.
is in the game, so it's the
Yes,
best
that's
game
right.
ever made.
that's what I was playing with. I just kept saying Moonarangs as I hit people.
Hey, you know who's in Ultimate Alliance? Luke Cage.
He is. He's in the second one.
Segway.
In the second game, he's like Captain America's right-hand man for his side of the faux Civil War that lasted about like an hour.
He was in the comics too.
Well, I don't remember Civil War enough right now. I haven't read it in a while, so I don't remember what he
He
was.
actually was leading the Avengers right before, and then kind of took over right after. It was right before Civil War is when him and Jessica had their kid.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So what does everybody think? One word to describe Luke Cage season 2 so far in episode 1 through 4.
Bonkers? Fucking bonkers.
It's bizarre to say the least.
But it's a good bonkers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Amusing.
Yeah.
elevated.
Good choice. I like that.
Yeah.
Rasakot.
What? What? Luke.
Yeah,
Who's a resident Jamaican?
Is he just? I hope you do indecipherable Jamaican for the rest of the episode.
I'm not Jamaican, but I'm Puerto Rican, but it's close enough.
I mean,
Only, like, a
yeah.
couple miles away.
I mean, you are not a white person.
Lou,
Right.
we've already covered. I think we covered that you're the ultimate diversity hire.
I am. Although I do want to say, I don't remember which episode, but where Claire and Luke talk and she brings up her stuff, I was like, oh shit, that was like very close.
Ooh. Oh, I mean, if we're gonna get
Yeah.
right into that, like that was probably the heaviest and most frighteningly emotional scene I think from all these Marvel shows so far. Like maybe a few sequences of Jessica Jones that were very uncomfortable, but that was because especially in like the time where you'll see kind of awareness about like domestic abuse all over the place, and then like he just punches that wall. I was like, oh no.
I mean, you could call that episode the domestic abuse episode, kind of.
Yeah.
That in the end of season, or not the end of episode 2.
And I'm glad it was handled that way and not in a fucking Hank Pym way.
Right.
Because I think part of it was that their conversation was so intense, and he kept being like, stop, stop, stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, instead of just choosing to walk away, he just lost his shit. And then
Yeah.
just the immediate, like, look of guilt on his face, and, like, oh, I just fucking fucked up.
Well, I wanted like to kind of on the way there throughout these first 4 episodes, I really like the idea that you watch Luke go from where he was in Defenders in season 1 to kind of a conceited jerk for a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you know full well you're getting like humble pie is coming at you real fast soon, and I'm waiting for it.
Actually, by the way, like I think it'd probably be a little important to check up on everyone here to see like how far they actually are in Luke Cage.
I just started. We're only doing the first 4 episodes. I only started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah,
episode 5 right now.
I stopped myself, so I don't have to rewatch it quite as much as I normally do. Because I usually do what you guys did and just watch all of it. But, yeah.
It's way easier for me to just watch it before we record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
But I
make
like
questions
how-
watch it.
I also like how you watch all these kind of external sources come in and start to kind of fuck with Luke's head. Like he's basically a small-time celebrity. And then he's doing these ridiculous feats of strength on TV, and he's posing for pictures of
Oh,
people,
God.
and
That
it
was-
completely goes to his head.
Mhm.
That was the part of the entire series I got why they did it, but it was so hokey.
Oh, it totally is.
Yes,
Yeah.
the
but-
2 ESPN things and meeting with the Jets coach, I was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
That's
part
who
where I was
that
like,
was.
what's going on?
Yeah, it gets really weird.
The
It
later,
gets very strange.
I think the football coach brings up an interesting point about like the MCU world, where it's like, no, we can't let these people play football because if one of them plays, everyone has to have one of those, and if that's not the case, then there could be none at all. Like we can't have these people don't have gifts they were born with.
But it's like,
Problem is that it'll age this show so bad because that guy's probably going to be fired after like week.
Well, and
Yeah.
and so here's the thing: is like I think it's like if you look at how, you know, the Marvel universe is very much like our own universe, and it's like if there was like a bulletproof like hero of Harlem who like was like had songs written about him, was on like the local like radio and all this other stuff. It's like, of course, like Nike and
he
all
had
these
drugs
other,
named after him. Like,
yeah,
that's how big.
like you. Well, like
Mhm.
they had drugs named after him to basically sully his name, but it's like the idea that it's like, of course, like this guy, like sports companies would go after him and basically be like, we want to do like a Luke Cage Nike shoe, you know, or whatever, you know, and it's like, and it's like, I get it. Like, it did seem like too much out of the realm of possibility.
No, not at all.
Well, they
Okay.
so much 2018 stuff in the show because it's not just that he's a hero from Harlem, and he says it multiple times. He is a black man wearing a hoodie that's
Right.
bulletproof.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's like a ton of like make Harlem great again. There is like a lot of like a lot of verbiage that's used within that series that is evocative of like current day like climate. But like I didn't think like maybe like one or two times, but like I think for the most part like none of it seemed like
Right.
out of line.
It's true.
I wasn't. It's not really bothersome.
No.
Yeah, and I think the first season kind of cements that like if any of these shows would be the show that's kind of gonna get dated real fast and really responds to the moment that we are in. This one is the one, and I get why they would do that.
They have to.
Yeah, and also, but I kind of think that I consider this to be a pocket verse all to itself. So within the pocket verse, a lot of this doesn't make sense to me still, you know? Him being a celebrity, that's okay, that's fine. But in the same world as, say, Daredevil, who is just like a myth, you know?
He's the Batman of the Netflix verse.
Well,
Right.
But I mean, Daredevil is a guy who hides in the shadows. Like
Right.
he wears a mask, like no one knows about him. Like Luke Cage is a guy who walks down the street.
Right.
He says
yeah.
it because I think Foggy brings up. He's like, I suggest a mask, and he's like, I'm a 6'3" black man who's bulletproof. Who's not going to know who I am?
Yeah, it's a steel problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
yeah.
knows Shaq.
Well, hey, wait a second.
You mean the greatest American hero of all time, Steel?
Bum, bum, bum.
Your fucking knockoff RoboCop theme.
Yeah, but at least they like address it in the show. Like, and I love that fact. And I also love that this is kind of it isn't almost like a Defenders 1.5 because so much stuff from Defenders is like part of the season.
Oh yeah, even in the first 4 episodes, this is the most crossovery season of any of these
This
shows.
is like the most lived-in show so far because in the first 4 episodes we have cameos from Colleen, Foggy,
Yeah.
who else was there?
Well, beginning of 5, but yeah.
The lawyer was also in Daredevil because I think he
Yeah.
was
Well, those characters have always been crossing over, but like
Yeah. It's
big
like-
main meat characters.
There's
Like
only,
Claire Temple's like a main character in Luke Cage, but she's also like a main character in like Daredevil. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But this goes even deeper into the I don't know what's it called, the team or whatever, the extended cast of this sort of
They're barely a team. They're just more like a
Netflix
bunch
verse.
of people who like collide into each other.
Who had to go
Yeah.
fight a bunch of
that
ninjas.
gets addressed and they talk about that. But
Good.
characters
Also,
are-
I did like I liked that Matt got a mention at least. And that's something
he's-
I've
his
been hoping they would do.
sacrifice thing is like to me like that's a huge part of what Claire is going through.
hmm
Like that entire
Yeah.
aspect. 'Cause she
Mhm.
loves Luke.
I think that's what's motivating her entirely is that, and I really like that, and it makes sense that Luke wouldn't be the one that would be super affected by it, in the same way that it made more sense that Jess like almost started crying during the second season of Jessica Jones, like, and she's not that character. That's not who that person is, but it makes sense that he would kind of like whatever, but Claire, who Matt was her previous relationship. She is very affected by what happened, and that she is trying to sort of protect Luke in a weird way from himself.
And I like that Luke is basically just like, dude, nothing can hurt me. Nothing's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it like I mentioned all these external sources that make him produce him as this very cocky jerk. He gets hit with a Judas bullet and somehow just walks it off. He's like, dude, I told you, nothing can stop me.
Right.
Well, I think they basically imply that the stuff in the season 1 to save him actually made him stronger.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also,
Which is cool.
Yes.
it's like I don't know if they address this in the movies or not, but I kind of like how it's like if you have a weapon that's made like that's related to the incident in New York, you're basically just like
you will be black bagged and thrown into a federal prison cell where no one's ever going to see you again.
Yeah.
See, I loved all that because that was kind of sort of tying it in more because they said hammer tech like 15 times during this.
Well, they said hammer tech.
Poor Justin Hammer.
He's gonna come back. There's no way.
He's gonna be in Luke Cage season.
Sam Rockwell will never do it.
Oh, he'll do it. You know,
No, he said he won't, though. He said that he's never doing it.
and Chris Evans said that he was going to retire, and then Mickey Mouse comes and backs up that big restaurant.
That's fair.
Mitch Mouse is like, "Do you want $71.3 billion?"
I mean, the Red Skull never came back, so.
Well,
I mean, that was a different actor, though.
Yeah.
That you can cheat Red Skull though.
yeah.
Yeah. It would be funny if they did try to cheat Justin Hammer the same way, though.
Hey, they did it to Terrence Howard.
They just get like
Well-
what the fuck? They just get like Dak Shepard to come in and play Justin Hammer.
That
Or they get the
Why?
same guy
We're
who
kind of-
played Red Skull, but they just CG over.
We're kind of the same guy.
At this point, I feel like they would just replace him with like a bigger name actor, like
Yeah,
Gary
probably.
Oldman.
Ooh, wow!
Well, I mean, that's
get
a
my
bit
hopes-
old, but
Don't get my
sure.
hopes up like that.
Okay.
Hey, they went from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle.
Right, but those are relatively the same age.
Imagine this.
Well, I mean, not the age. I meant like acting skills.
I know.
Imagine Doctor
yeah, I
Doom
think
being
that's a
played
good
by
idea.
Owen Wilson. Just think about that for a
Oh,
second.
God.
Why would you say that out loud?
I don't
Say
know.
that, but we live in a universe where Morbius is going to be possibly played.
Okay,
by-
now,
No, we're not doing this. We're not. We are not. We're never discussing that.
Please don't like that.
Sony and Warner Brothers are banned from this show officially. I'm throwing down the gauntlet. They are banned.
Ed's gonna be mad.
So, fuck, I had a thought and there it goes. Oh, I want to talk about Bushmaster because
Oh yeah.
I can talk about him for an hour.
Bushmaster kind of fucking Bushmaster is immediately more compelling than Diamondback was over the course of the whole season.
Because he's not a
Well,
Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
There's reasons for that.
he doesn't have a super suit.
He's a like giant, gorgeous black man who can do. good
Who can
music,
who
martial
can
arts.
fight like Eddie Gordo from Tekken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like immediately, I'm like, oh, like he's like fighting like Elena from
Yeah,
Street
he's-
Fighter.
He's using capoeira, which is like a Brazilian fighting style.
oh, yeah.
Which
This
is
walks
Yeah,
up
but
on
I-
Luke Cage in the middle of the street and just
Well-
does a stick spin kick.
Forget that. His first action sequence where he grabbed that dude
Oh,
with a knife and like stabbed him in one eyeball and cut across this dude's skull into the other eyeball. I was like, that's the most violent thing I've seen come from this.
he's a goddamn Mortal Kombat character.
all right. So just to cut in, so I looked up a bunch of stuff on this guy. He is actually a huge comic book fan. He is.
Oh damn.
He grew up in Harlem.
Oh shit!
He
Yeah.
auditioned.
He still lives there, actually.
Yes, he auditioned for 2 other comic book roles: Black Lightning
Oh.
and M'Baku.
Whoa!
Oh.
And
He
you
could.
know,
I could see him in both of those.
I think he
very
was a
easily.
little young for Black Lightning, and he's actually kind of skinny for M'Baku. And I get why they didn't physically cast him for those 2 roles.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Jefferson is bigger.
Jefferson's
Just
like in his mid to late 40s.
yeah.
Bushmaster's like in his late 30s.
Jefferson also looks like a brick house. He's short
Mhm.
and,
Yeah,
this
and
guy's-
stocky.
He's like tall and like not lanky, but he's thin.
It's
Like,
close though. It's
Oh
it's
my-
very close.
He's very intimidating in this.
Hmm.
he's
Oh my
long.
god, I didn't know that like Bushmaster was like a snake man in the comics.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
he's
Well, that's one of the 5 versions of him.
Luke
the
Cage,
Snake Man.
Luke Cage
with,
in the comic has some silly ass fucking villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did
I mean,
so much more for this character than the Marvel Comics has ever done.
any villain for a black superhero in the comics,
Yeah,
if you look at them, they're all kind of. They're all.
I mean, look at man what M'Baku was before.
Wasn't M'Baku was like the Monkey Man?
Yeah,
And Killmonger
the
is
white
in
ape.
the comics.
No,
He's just a dude with dreads.
I brought that up in the Black Panther review that he's a cannibal like stereotype kind of like African tribe guy.
Oh, he
And
was an African savage.
Yeah, and like
Well,
in
he
the
dressed
movie,
like a
they're
gorilla.
in the movie they're like, you don't eat people. Like,
But he is very visually impressive, and the sequence where he walks up and just punks Luke Cage was amazing.
yeah, it's pretty great.
And I'm
Pretty
glad
good.
it wasn't just he walks up and 1-2 punches Luke. Like they have an actual fight.
Mm-hmm.
Then he
That goes
does-
south, but it's not just 1-2. I'm so overly overpowered. It's the opposite of all the speedster entrances on the Flash, where they show up
Right.
and they're like, "I'm faster than you, Barry!" Ah.
Yeah,
The
and
other
then
thing I loved with his character is that like they brought in New York into the show
Yeah.
a lot more because
Yeah.
they're not just in Harlem because they go to like Brooklyn and other parts, but they brought in that idea that in New York, which I'm not sure how much you guys have traveled in the city in those different parts, but there are clusters like in the show that are just Jamaican or just Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah.
And Harlem
Yeah.
is really like a couple of blocks. It's a really small area, so it never makes sense for him to just sit in a small area. Luke Cage, I mean.
or for Daredevil to just be in Hell's Kitchen because
Especially because it's not even named that anymore.
I know. Well, the idea is that it came back though. That's the whole idea.
I like Clinton because that's a lame name.
Yeah.
He was a president once.
Well, that's what it's named after him because he put an office there.
Thanks, Hunter.
Ah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Bushmaster. I like that his powers are just street magic, or
Mhm.
it's voodoo, it's witchcraft, it's something because he's
I
using
have
like
the-
nightshade and stuff.
Yeah.
I like his entire gang also. Like they all seem like they're
I
having
mean,
a good time.
he has like Ninja Turtles esque thugs that follow him around. Like one of them's got a ball and a
Yeah.
chain. One of them's got dual machetes.
I'm waiting for him to have like heavies who have like
There's two things. Yeah. So the magic they use is called Obeah, Obeah, and it's
Which-
like it's an African, like it's kind of like voodoo, but it's not like French influenced.
Mhm.
Okay.
Which, like, by the way, it's like the only other like Marvel property we've seen that like deals with that within like the modern era is Doctor Strange,
Mhm.
which I thought was like kind of interesting. That it's like for the Netflix series, which is like supposed to be like super street level, realistic outside of like fucking ninjas. Like everything else has been kind of like on the level, and then like Luke Cage season 2 is like, oh yeah, this guy just does like fucking Nightshade, and
this
it's
guy.
Well, yeah.
Guy's a cat
Yeah.
era,
I
voodoo
immediately
powered.
have-
Well, I mean the hand being immortals with like using like blood magic or whatever,
well,
like
once
kind
I-
of opened the door for this.
Once I
Probably.
started talking about it, I was like, "Oh shit, we can get Brother Voodoo in this goddamn world."
They could, and it actually
That was
probably
hyped.
really
Probably, yeah.
The other thing that was interesting, I think all the other side characters for Bushmaster were awesome. Like, I love his uncle, and
Mhm.
they gave him such an interesting name. Did any of you guys watch American Gods?
Not yet.
I did, yeah.
Okay, because his
I'm
uncle.
kind of depressed about it because it's never coming back.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Oh, it
No,
is?
What are you
Lou-
talking about? It got
Lou,
renewed
it's a
for, like,
bit.
2 seasons.
Lou, it's a bit.
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
I
It's-
did not know that.
because Brian Fuller isn't on it. Get it? 'Cause- Because
Wait, guys.
we have.
Can't do it anymore. God damn.
Goddamn white people.
I've lost control. What's happening?
Lou, you don't. Lou, okay.
I got
I'm
lost in a
joking.
bit.
Lou, white people, we have bits and we don't ever stop them, okay? This is something you're gonna have to
Like-
learn.
Me and Space Jam, me and Scooby Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
The only bit I'm part of is Smallville.
That's not.
Yeah, you're so a part of it. You made a bit come to life.
Yes, I did.
It
Well,
stops
that's
becoming a
honestly like
bit though,
20
like the Church of Davenport. Or Okay.
Anyway, I thought all the side characters were actually really interesting too. I thought everyone who's kind of surrounding all the action were interesting. I like the fact that what was it, Bobby, the guy who hangs at the barbershop, is consistently walking off screen, going like, "I gotta go talk to a Nike exec."
yeah,
Bobby Fischer?
So,
Yeah,
replacement pops sort of just like
Oh,
Yeah,
this
he-
is
coming in and
he's
out.
like, "Well, Luke, maybe you sometimes gotta, he just gives him like sagely advice, and he's like, "Hang on, I'll be right back. Gotta go talk to Nike."
This is one of the inside jokes because Alan didn't want to watch this because he didn't want to watch that character because he died and This Is Us.
Excuse me?
Wait, what? Wait, what did you
Wait,
just say?
wait a minute.
The actor that plays Bobby Fischer is in This Is Us, and that his character in that show dies. So that's why he did not want to watch Luke Cage season 2.
We're gonna give him so much shit for this. Oh my god.
That is probably the most Alan thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I think he won an Emmy for his role in that show. Which I
God
have
damn
seen
it,
that show.
Alan.
How does Alan watch anything if he can't watch actors who die in other works show up in something else? Like, can he stomach Sean Bean's existence?
I don't know if he watches Mr. Robot, but he won't be able to watch that Freddie Mercury movie at all. Like,
This is also a show that has a guy who actually died in it,
right.
who was awesome in the show. Reggie Cathy was amazing.
Mhm.
Also, that's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, it came from Alan, so I mean, the surprise is softened.
It is. It's much. I'm like, okay.
I'm just like numb to it.
I mean, I think I'm numb to it, but then like the next day, he does something like, "I don't like the lightning bolts on Flash's outfits, so I don't read the comic books." What? Wait, what?
I pre-ordered 5 issues of Injustice.
Hey, Alan, Injustice 2 is the worst comic I've read in a long time. I pre-ordered issue 1 through 61. Well, fuck. Anyway, Luke Cage season 2. I think Misty Knight has a very interesting arc. We started talking about her at the beginning of the episode and how her little arc is trying to get accustomed to having one arm. And I like how she kind of flies between self-pity and kind of outward rage.
Yeah, and her and Colleen are really good.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene's awesome.
Yeah, hashtag Daughters of the Dragon. Yeah, you
I
give it
love
to
how
us.
they set it up too with the guys like hitting on them, and he's just like, "Yeah, no, I'm talking to her," and then he like kind of explains, "Yeah, I'm
and I
talking to you
love-
because
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that he's just like, yeah, you put my brother in jail," and I love when she goes to swing and it's her non-arm. And
Yeah.
she's just like,
Mhm.
fuck.
Sure, and then like also like Misty is like fighting these dudes, and Colleen's just kind of like hanging back, like kind of just like
Oh,
letting
spinning
her
over.
get into the fight until like it kind of really starts involving her, and she's like, okay, I'll get in, you know.
Yeah, it's like she's like, "Oh, let her just blow off steam. Oh, a broken bottle. No, sir."
Well, not just that, like also all the stuff with Scarf, I thought was an interesting way to bring that story from season 1 into this season.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like-
well, and also to like go back, it's like not only just like is she like protecting her because of that ball, but she's like letting her pick herself back up,
Yeah.
Right.
like through this fight, and it's like
Mhm.
that's like kind of like the big turnaround moment for Misty going forward, like, and that's like the scene where she gets her confidence back.
Mhm.
That's where Stella gets through that.
I do think it's interesting that they wrote in that nobody but like high ups know what went down in Defenders. Do you
Right.
agree?
Well, not even. Well, for the most part, it seems like just the Defenders know what happened, and only a
Right.
few other people really know the details.
Well,
They
I'm
don't
sure.
know
Like,
that
I'm
you
sure
never saw a dragon.
because doesn't someone imply like Misty is too valuable to like
Yeah, the
the
Yeah.
lieutenant or
Department of
whatever,
Justice to fire her because something bad.
Right.
Where it's a bad PR move.
he basically
Mhm.
says that she's on the force and she can't get fired because she's like this token character to like show how awesome the NYPD is.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, she's a
And-
hero, so they can't really do anything.
She's a
Well,
propaganda. She's a
they're gonna,
propaganda machine.
Yes.
Where they're going to like get rid of like their like star like cop who lost her arm in the line of duty.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're one-armed black woman cop in New York City.
Right.
Which actually is interesting because I want to know like what other branches of New York know about what happened inside of that building for Defenders, which had to sound like a fantastic conversation. Well, first they took the billionaire martial arts magic man. They had him punch the dragon wall,
I don't know. I don't
then
think
some more
anybody
ninjas
knows
sho-
that detail.
and then some more ninjas showed up, and then a red ninja showed up, and then the red horny guy fought the red ninja.
I think a lot of those details were lost. I had to be honest.
And then we never really saw a dragon, and some dude out there was really disappointed at it when he talked about it on a podcast.
Mm-hmm. God damn
Hunter,
it.
you're never getting that dragon.
I want it. Give me it.
It's
We'll see
not
the
happening.
dragon in Iron Fist season 2. I guarantee it.
I would guarantee it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here we go. Dragon time.
And he will kill Scott Buck. He will eat Scott Buck.
So another side character who I'm really enjoying, despite the fact that she is horrifying, is Mariah.
I wouldn't even
Yeah.
consider
And,
her a
she's
side
in a-
character.
yeah, I wouldn't call her
She
Yeah.
is like she is a bubbling secondary antagonist who seems to be just kind of sitting in the sidelines waiting.
I think
Right.
I think because it's the idea that we're only talking about the first four.
Mhm.
I think Mariah Dillard is like the really true A level villain of this season.
Right.
Like
She's
every
the kingpin.
she's the linchpin of every single conflict within this season.
Right.
She is like the most evil, stone cold, baddest bitch in this show, and she's
Right.
like the most terrifying villain of possibly any Marvel product.
Yeah,
like-
probably.
But the thing is also with her is like from season 1 even we know her backstory, like when she offs her cousin, like she has sympathetic parts to her, like why
Mhm.
she is this horrible, nasty individual.
I also like the fact that everyone else, including her, is going through some sort of parental drama, and that everyone else seems to be doing better than Luke is.
Yeah.
Luke won't even talk to his father, but Mariah seems has reconnected with her daughter. I think Bobby Fisher just says yeah, I have a daughter, and I just I'm gonna go give her an organ.
Yeah.
Not mine.
Yeah, somebody
I
else.
do think the difference is that Mariah is connecting with her daughter to use her.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
no, nothing Mariah does is truly selfless.
And
No,
then-
it's completely calculated,
And
definitely.
the difference is with Luke and his father is that his father, whenever we see him, it's amazing. Reggie is amazing at playing it, but
Mhm.
it's also that he's so that preacher thing where he's so over the top and I'm
Yeah.
good, and it looks like you're not fucking good. You had a bastard kid, and all your mistakes is what destroyed my life.
Yeah.
All of his
He's
father's-
he's self-righteous as fuck to Luke.
yes,
But
And
his
Mhm.
conversation with Claire is completely the opposite. He comes off as someone who actually cares. But to
Yeah.
Luke's face, he's this sanctimonious bastard.
because I think when he, to me, the way they wrote it, and at least the way it's acted, is that when he sees Luke and everything Luke went through, he sees all his mistakes.
Yeah, I think that's in there definitely.
Yeah.
And Luke just brings it up as well. He's like, oh, this, and this. And it's he's like, whatever Diamondback's name was, and that's why he did the thing. Because if you were
Mhm.
honest about that, then I would have gotten arrested, gone to jail, and all this other stuff would have happened. Everything bad in my life is all your fault.
Mhm. Yeah, and he makes a good point, kind of. For
A
a little
very-
while there.
A very entertaining aspect of Mariah's character path so far is that not just her relationship with Shades, because everything about that is either hilarious or creepy. But it seems like her and Shades fall into these money pit get rich quick schemes that just blow up in their faces every
Mhm.
2 minutes.
Well, yeah, because she's trying to get out clean. Which
Yeah.
is...
The thing is, it's that Shades is giving her advice, and she just doesn't take
Yeah.
any of it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's he's like, I'm the gangster. I'm trying to teach you how to be a gangster. Listen to me. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna do it this way.
Typical woman, am I right, guys? High five.
And Hunter will no longer be part of the Phantom Zone.
I'm just kidding. God.
I'm trying to remember, because the other guy that's a good side character that I really enjoyed was Piranha, which was the money guy, and I don't remember episode 4 where his story is at.
Yeah. Okay. So I
when they're trying to buy out that plastics
Mhm.
company, that's kind of when he starts coming in.
Oh yeah.
he wasn't really there in the first 4 for me, and I had a problem telling him and Cockroach apart. Not because of the actors, but just because their performances
Because you're
were so
racist.
similar, kind of to me.
They're not. They're, I don't know.
At least in
maybe
these
it's more
first
clear.
4.
Piranha
yeah,
is a much
I'm sure.
smaller guy, and then I'm trying to work. So I guess we don't get to certain parts with him, but yeah, he's not a thug. He's more of the black guy that made it out of the hood and is on Wall Street,
Mhm.
and then with the Cockroach is literally exactly what his name says. He is the scum, bottom of the barrel, and then he
Right.
connects all the scarf stuff for Misty.
I like
Mm.
that someone is so self-aware of how shitty they are. They're just cool with being called cockroach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of a piece of shit.
That was fitting. Yeah.
But yeah, Mariah and Shades. What's everybody think of that?
I don't know.
It's fucking weird. For
Well,
some reason,
weird.
weird.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it's all that weird. Like I feel like Shades is like a guy who's attracted to like power, and the most powerful person in that show is Mariah, and Mariah is like so like cold and calculated, and like to a point to where it's like he can kind of sort of control like kind of like what she does, but
They're-
like you
They're
know it's
kindred
like
spirits.
yeah, it's like they're like two sides of the same coin.
I think if there's anything that's weird about it, it's that Alfred Woodard has decided to just skip over subtle and go to like
Yeah,
this
no,
very strange
even
place.
I think it's not just her relationship itself; it's her physical approach to it is very like. There's just something so unnerving about it. I think it's like when you first see them, and I think it's episode 1. She just grabs his hand and starts sucking on his thumb in the middle of that restaurant in front of everybody. I'm like, that's okay. That's all.
Like, I was surprised she didn't take his other hand and like put it down into her
I
like
was gonna
crotch
say,
or
like,
something because
she gets much more vulgar and open with it as it goes through.
That's
wow,
amazing.
Which
I
is
don't know how that's possible.
But I also love, and I probably won't be here for at least one of the other episodes, if not both, that you guys do for Luke Cage. The Comanche, the Shade's buddy, his story path is such a slow burn and so goddamn interesting that there's so much little things in the beginning that you don't pick up on until you get to like the third quarter or fourth quarter of his story arc.
Well, I mean, we
So
just
good.
find out in episode 3 or 4 that he's an undercover cop.
Yeah, we find out he's an undercover.
But
There's a lot of undercover people.
He's
in
not
this.
an undercover cop. He's a snitch.
Yes.
I wonder if they're gonna recreate a scene from The Departed because
Well,
there are
he's
two undercover people.
He's also from the first season as well. He's the other guy with chains that beats the shit out of
Right.
Luke.
Yeah. I didn't remember if he was the same actor or not.
I don't remember, but it's the same character.
Yeah, he's good so far though. He's part of why I called episode 2 in my head. It is the comedy roast episode
That's what
because
like,
everybody is roasting somebody else in that episode.
his comments have like they're not just like thrown out there. Like they actually, when you get to the end of their arc, his comments are like very like, oh shit, that's why he was doing all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm really trying not to spoil, and I want to talk about it so bad.
So question: do we think the action is better than season 1 so far, or worse, or kind of on the same level?
I think it's just
Better.
different. I'd say different.
and better.
I think it's better.
The choreography is much better.
The choreography is much better. That's true. Well, it's the same people who were doing the choreography for Defenders, which I guess that makes sense. Although Luke, his choreography is the worst of anybody's in Defenders, I'd say.
Because it's like you have to deliberately choreograph something that looks kind of clumsy. Because Luke's fighting technique is not anything. It's not skillful.
He just beats the fuck out
He
of
just
him.
walks through people and lets them bounce off of him.
He has the Superman issue when it comes to choreography. It's that like he doesn't need to learn anything because he's a tank.
But
He
here's
just eats shots and then punches people.
I think like if you're like looking at the fights between like him and a bunch of like randos, it's like there's kind of like nothing. There's like no specific fight in there that separates itself from season 1. But the fights between Luke and Bushmaster throughout the series is fucking leagues better than any of the Diamondback fights. Like
I will say that just the
and
episode 3 fight or episode 4 fight,
and not to spoil like a fight that happens after that, but like it's probably like the single best fight of like either season of Luke Cage.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. I do like the fights where he's kind of like where he'll bother to dodge. I think that's cool because realistically he doesn't have a reason to, but also at the same time he's like, I don't have any fear of getting hit with this thing, so I can kind of just act this way when I want to.
There's like a little thing that like bothers me a little bit whenever he gets hit by like rocket launchers or explosions or fire bombs or whatever, and he like walks on through and his like clothes like are like a little singed or like there's like a little bit, and I'm like, there should just be like, it's like he has like bullet holes, but it's like that guy should just have like giant holes into his shirts and his sweater, and just every time he goes back to like the barbershop, his clothes should just kind of be barely on him.
I think this whole season, and I think in one of these first episodes we see like fire effects. They're the only bad effect I saw this whole season.
I think it looked bad, but at the same time, I thought it looked cool.
There's other fire effects, and I guess it's the same people that worked on them. They don't ever look like bad CGI fire.
I think we've talked about this in other episodes of other shows too. Like bad CGI fire is some of the worst offending CGI you can come across because it looks like, so blatantly fake.
Because like John,
Joe.
you've seen the other episodes. Like not to spoil the thing, but like when something happens, that was one of the worst CGI fire things I've ever seen.
Wait, in the thing, the remake or the prequel?
No. Like in an episode in the show, there's another.
Oh, okay.
I do think him like walking out of the burning like the cargo thing was kind of.
Oh, that's a cool shot. The guy looks dying.
It's a cool shot. That's what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, it's bad CG. Like
it's bad CG, but it looks neat. Like
also, Luke needs to go to Melvin to fix your bullet hole problem, your explosion problem. He needs to get a yellow chainmail.
Yeah, like it's funny you mentioned the clothes thing because how much clothes do you think Luke Cage goes through in a week? Like
he goes through like 4 hoodies a day.
Oh, like I thought he just gets them for free.
Probably at this point, he probably has like a box just
his
full of hoodies.
His barbershop sells them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see what happens. Well, later on, you'll see what happens to all his hoodies.
They do say that he's being funded by like a college or by the college league or whatever.
The first hoodie he has on has like
kind of funny.
And I was wondering, I don't know if it's connected to the Wakanda stuff.
Probably not because this is a pocket verse and it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, in the timeline, but there's some slogan on his hoodie that he talks about.
And I like how Arlen you say that, and it's kind of quietly true. But everyone in the shows who runs them always comes out and goes like, "Oh, well, this happens before Infinity War, so don't worry about it." Like, well, you're not going to address it anyway, so don't even bring it up.
Well, okay, until a Wakandan shows up on the show, which you never know, they might, but until it happens, I'm not going to believe that they exist in the same universe.
They bothered to mention Justin Hammer. So.
I mean, so what? That's Iron Man 2. Yeah, it's because here's the thing: nothing post, except for Ultron, nothing post Avengers has really affected this show.
Nothing
this verse.
Before Age of Ultron has ever affected these shows because they've never had to sign up for the registration.
Nothing post that because they do say they basically hint that Ultron will happen in this universe, but after that, nothing.
I think they say something. I can't remember which show. Like that, somebody dropped a city on something.
Yeah, that's in one of the TV. That's one of the other TV
shows. They always
do
something like that where they dance. It's the Supergirl, my cousin effect, where they're just going to dance around the subject but never actually explicitly address it.
I think that's in reference to the Winter Soldier, actually.
Drop a city on something.
Well, because like if you think about it, it kind of sucked that a bunch of helicarriers went down.
Well, that's the thing. Like they meant again. You're right. They do mention Winter Soldier actually. So because they talk about Cap in Daredevil season 1, a lot, and Foggy compares Matt to Cap or whatever. But the point is like the movies after a certain point they've stopped really having an effect. So much so that I don't believe for a second that they'll ever mention Wakanda in this, or that there will ever be any connection to T'Challa's coming out.
It makes me upset because, there's little things that I really want out of this collection of shows, and one of them is like, I don't think any of the Avengers but Captain America would ever hang out with the Defenders, and I would love a sequence of Steve Rogers at a bar with Luke and now that Spider-Man's in the fold, hanging out with the people he might relate to the most, which is just regular people.
Mm-hmm. What's the thing, New Yorkers, like
exactly that too.
Well, especially after that scene with him and Spidey, where it's like, Queens, Brooklyn. But the other thing is that like Luke, that's like kind of the worst part is like Luke is actually like a kind of almost an A-lister at this point in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's led the event, like he took over for Cap and led the Avengers.
Right.
Like he's almost an A-list. He's like B to A-list character.
Mm-hmm.
Although they do
the guy. He's like I think he's the closest to Cap in some regards.
Well, he has a lot of similarities to Cap, where he was, this kind of downtrodden character that stuff happens to him with an experiment, and he gets these super abilities.
And
he tries to
in
be
the
best that he can.
MCU, like, isn't everyone who's affected like this basically the result of an offshoot of the super soldier program anyway?
I mean, so far it seems like it. It seems like it's all attempts to replicate
Yeah.
Cap's stuff.
Well, that was like the Ultimate Universe version of everything.
Yeah.
But Luke does fall into, I can't remember, I think it was like Neil Adams that talks about it, that there was like two versions of black characters in like before the 80s. And Luke and Black Panther are the two. Either they're a foreign prince or they're a prisoner or that's getting superpowers.
Right.
And like,
or you're a vampire hunter whose mother was bitten by a vampire.
Yeah, you had to fight Jared Leto.
Blade started off as a villain.
I know, but that's because it was Tomb of Dracula, and you were supposed to root for Dracula. So. Yeah.
And then that worked out great.
Yeah, and Marv Wolfman is trying to keep Stan Lee from taking that idea from him every day.
Well, the government's trying to keep people from taking everything from Stan Lee every day.
Well, yeah, but I was trying to prompt Connor to do his Stan Lee.
I'm trying not to do it because the world keeps shitting on him.
I know, but still.
All right, fine. Jeez.
What you doing there, Marv?
Leave me alone, God damn it!
I
don't remember where I live.
I got invited to a celebrity death pool, and I looked at Stan Lee, and I was like,
Christ.
I'm like, I can't do it. It hurts too much.
Wait, were people betting on Stan Lee?
No, you could. It's an interesting idea. It's like, so how it works is it's 20 people. You get points based on the person's age minus 100. Stan's like 95, so you only do 5 points.
Right.
And they have to die within the year that you're playing.
I see.
And then you get bonus points for every other team that doesn't have it. Doesn't have them on their.
What if? Do you get bonus points if a person on the Deadpool kills someone else on the Deadpool?
That would be awesome. I don't think so.
It's like Stan Lee kills somebody.
Stan Lee kills Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming.
94 years old, my ass.
The only deaths that don't count are like, if it's a prisoner and they're executed.
I see. Right.
That's also like not a good bet because like that gets tied up for years.
Yeah. So like one of my ones that I put on there, which I'm sure a bunch of people have, was like Artie Lang.
Right. Yeah.
No, he's gonna outlive us all.
Either way.
For Connor, who's the wrestling fan, I put Kamala on my list.
He's not yet. I think he's like missing a foot though.
I think he actually got his second leg amputated.
Oh god,
that sucks. All right,
okay, here's the thing. Not to get too off topic, because I want to get back to something on Luke Cage. Like wrestling death pools are the worst because you can throw a dart at a board full of names and probably get something that may happen in the next 6 weeks.
Just pick someone who's super beloved.
Yeah.
Or you just pick Andre the Giant.
If it was 2 years ago, I would have had Kurt Angle on there, but he turned.
I think I still have Kurt Angle on that death pool because like he's
Kurt Angle is gonna outlive us all.
Kurt Angle's gonna die in the ring.
God damn it.
Anyway, something else I want to talk about with Luke Cage is the use of music. It seems like it never stops.
Nope. Doesn't stop at all.
It's good. So like,
it's good. All the
stop good.
I mean, it was good last season, but it's continuing to be fucking great this season.
I think every episode where they show someone playing on the stage, they get 2 to 3 songs, whoever that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think episode 2 is Gary Clark Jr.
Is that?
A lot of work these days.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
It sounds familiar, but I'm not putting a name to the face.
He did that in the cover of Come Together for Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
A lot of people call him like a modern day Jimi Hendrix because he's black.
Pretty good.
Lou.
I can say these things.
Lou is flexing his power to the limit.
Yeah, you're gonna fire me.
All I know is that when this Kingfish guy came on screen, he's the bigger man.
With playing guitar, he was
yes, he's so good.
It reminded me of the Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the Hawaiian guy.
Oh yeah,
so goddamn surprised. It's like, wait, that voice is coming out of that man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the Black Lightning's use of music is good, but as we've talked about, like Eric always brings it up, at sometimes it's a bit hysterical.
Black Lightning is the GoBots to this show.
Wow, Lou coming out hard.
Wow.
But it's true. Like they're on network television. They can't do the things.
Right, but I don't think. Okay, I think there's a quality distinction though that I don't think applies to this at all.
Who does the song for Black Lightning?
I don't know,
It
but
says-
okay, I will concede there. That theme song is so stupid.
It's
I saw a
gotten-
superhero. He was black.
It was funny the first time we heard it, but as it's gone on, I'm like, okay, all right.
It sounds like it reminded me of, speaking of wrestling, it reminded me of that god awful Macho Man rap album.
Oh
my
god.
It's the most PG like diss rapping I've ever heard.
It's the best purchase I had since Toys R Us went bankrupt.
Macho Man does a Hulk Hogan diss track where he tells him he's going to kick him in the butt and wash his mouth out with soap.
He saved us from the rapture. Don't you blast him.
God damn. Okay, can we talk about Tilda and how she still calls her mother mommy? Because that needs to be addressed.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is like a thing, but I know people that call. I still call my dad Papa. Even though
I still call my mom Mama, but it's not the same thing. If I called my mom Mommy in a Walmart, or
but I
something,
think the thing is, she says that she first calls her name, and then she says Mom, and then she's like, "Oh, call me Mom. You call me Mommy, like you always did."
Ugh.
Oh God, that doesn't make it better though. That just makes it really weird.
It does make it
know
really
why.
weird, especially when she's really horny all the time in that show.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's, there's so much I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil. So
Mariah has palpable underlying sexual tension with every character she comes on screen with. She
does.
Fucking everybody with her eyes.
Oh yeah, she wants to bang everybody. And
But then,
I kind of love it.
Kind of like, how can I kill you here and have no one find out?
how
Right.
old do you say Mariah is? 50?
Yeah, that's
Maybe?
where my brain goes to. 50.
Are you going to hit us with a very unexpected answer?
No, I was asking.
Her daughter looks 25 to me,
there is
if
a-
you ask me. So
There's a flashback with her in the 80s, and she looks like a teenager then.
Yes, she looks like she's
Okay.
like 16 or 17 in that flashback.
I mean, depending on what year in the 80s you're talking about, that works.
They don't say because there's lots of vagueness.
Right.
In the story, her and Bushmaster are supposed to be basically the same age, which I don't know how that works.
He has magic. Boom. I explained it for you. I haven't even seen the later episodes.
I mean, also, it's like, I imagine Bushmaster has also taken care of himself better than Mariah kind of has.
Probably. Also,
Yes.
black don't crack, as we all know.
Homeboy's doing CrossFit.
Well,
he's doing
I think the potential Bushmaster's powers so far haven't been very clearly
Right.
defined, so he could be using some sort of spell or incantation or
When you talk about
herbal
those
mixture
two
to keep
girls,
himself looking younger.
yeah, like when you talk about those two girls energizing him, at first I took that as like, that's funny, and now I'm like, maybe he actually meant that. Maybe they are actually energizing him. Sex magic is a thing, so maybe he gets power through banging out. I mean, you never know.
That's fucking.
Yeah.
Well,
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Don't knock it.
Is it going to be a one-man fuck army hunter?
Did you see that? Damn.
I did. I see it very frequently on various posts.
So funny.
I wish I want to say like
that one later.
you probably are. I wish I could talk about where I think the show is going, but a few of us have seen all of it. So,
I would actually love
or
to
if you
hear-
want to maybe either like dance around any suspicions we might have.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think.
Well, I'm hoping there's no mid-season villain replacement whether there was last season. As much as I love what happened, as much as I love Mariah, like she got rid of Cottonmouth, and I liked Cottonmouth a lot.
Well,
I
if
would
it was-
say in that season, I think it's been pretty much confirmed that Marsala Ali's schedule was super
Yeah,
tight, and he just had to leave.
I think he
that
would have been
sucks.
there till like episode 10 or something.
Because I think he actually had to go film.
if you want for the schedule.
What was the movie they won the Oscar for?
Moonlight.
I think he
Yeah.
actually literally had to go film that.
He was shooting Moonlight, that, and it's something else that I can't remember
He's in
at
a
like
ton
the
of
same
TV
time.
shows.
Yeah, so I get it. There was another thing where he was playing kind of like a gangster that I can't remember the name of.
He's also in that new Alita movie.
Yeah, he is. Thanks
also
for
in
reminding
that-
us.
He was in the Hunger Games too.
I think that movie looks super cool. Like
I mean, visually, yes, I will agree with you. On
I
that.
don't. Here's my thing. I don't trust Hollywood at all. With
You know who I
And,
do? But here's the thing. You know who I do trust? Robert Rodriguez. And that guy,
I don't.
That guy very rarely like has kind of like steered me wrong.
As a producer, yeah. As a director, not all the time.
I mean, No, like I mean, if you're like counting out like Spy Kids, because Spy Kids ain't made for us.
Oh, hey, whoa.
Spy Kids
No,
is
the
probably
Spy-
actually his top
Oh, yeah,
those
I-
movies hold
Oh
out.
shit!
As
I
kids
forgot.
movies.
Like you guys are like younger. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa! I am not younger.
Don't talk
No, but-
shit about Spy Kids.
No,
alright?
so I haven't watched them since I was a
I-
kid, though. But
I
I
was
would
in high-
fight for them still.
I was in high school when Spy Kids came out, so I was like, oh, these are above my age range. But
Wait,
Right.
John, how old are you again?
I'm 32.
Oh, okay. You and I are the
What?
exact same age. Okay,
Me
so
too.
yeah, same thing.
I'm 31.
But I mean, like you know,
Wow,
like
the old people outnumber us this time, Hunter.
but it's like from
Well,
Dusk Till Dawn, The Faculty, Sin City, like the first Sin City, Planet Terror,
Like how you
the first
really had to
Machete.
specify the first Sin City.
The first, yeah, you got to be careful with that.
That's like
No,
oh,
here's
like,
the-
300, not the second.
Right, but I don't. The Machete movies are both bad, though. That's
The first
problem.
Machete movie's great. The second Machete, not
Uh,
good.
I love the first Machete movie.
I think he's a better producer. Predators is better than the majority of his films.
Predators is very good.
He's amazing when he's allowed to do what he does, which is what he did in the Mariachi trilogy. Like his
Yes,
concept of doing the kind of
Which is
Mexican
make
Western-
sequels to movies that were never made.
that's the thing. I prefer.
there isn't
God
mariachi.
damn it, Hunter.
What are you talking about?
Hunter, this is another bit, Lou, where Hunter is a racist.
Wait, no.
How
Wait,
does-
no. Listen, okay. I don't want people to assume I'm racist. I'm not a racist, but like,
No, but in the bit you are.
I'm gonna be your judge right now, so
No,
say your
okay.
case.
Ooh,
isn't that the story of that movie? Is that it was basically a sequel to a movie that never got made?
No, there was an
No.
original Mariachi.
Okay.
It did not.
No,
star
Machete
Antonio-
started off as a trailer. That's what I think. You're
Oh, okay. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, no,
Come
Machete
on.
is Machete's a movie based on a trailer from Grindhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Mariachi because most people
Yeah,
don't
so
realize
was
that
I.
there's a first.
No.
Now, El Mariachi is the first one. I think it's all in Spanish. Maybe
Yes,
there's like one
and
line in English.
Antonio-
I didn't know.
Banderas is the
I didn't know
one.
a damn thing about that movie because I thought Desperado when that came out was just a movie by itself. I was like,
No.
oh, it looks cool.
The bad guy in Desperado is the lead character in Mariachi
Interesting. Okay.
because I think they're brothers.
No, I think you got them mixed up. The guy who plays the lead in El Mariachi is one of Antonio Banderas' friends that he calls in for backup. He's one of the other guys.
The El Mariachi universe is crazy.
The Desperado verse, which is part of the Tarantino verse.
Yes.
Is it really? What
the
the
third
fuck?
one has Ruben Blades. To you white people, that's Ruben Blades. He was on NYPD Blue.
But yeah,
Thank you for that.
because fucking Michael Parks shows up in fucking Dusk Till Dawn, and he's the same sheriff character.
Yeah, I
from Kill
forgot.
Bill.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Back to Luke Cage. Who else? I mean, at this point, I'm kind of blissfully ignorant of where the show is going to go. I'm kind of being surprised. One, because this uptick in quality wasn't expected. I wasn't sure how they're going to come out of the gate, and as John said in the beginning, it's very elevated.
Yeah.
It also doesn't have the problem that like every Netflix Marvel show has, where it has like this really bad dip in quality in the last 4 episodes.
Well, okay, so that's interesting because I've heard that it does from some people,
No.
but I haven't heard that it's the 4 specifically, but I have heard that it is too long.
I think, I think, like, not to spoil anything, I think the only dip in season 2 is like the last 30 minutes.
I would
Okay.
actually, the last 30 minutes, just like John said, is kind of like a season wrap up leading to season 3.
Okay.
And it's putting things into situations like that don't fit or don't feel right, and it's just like, wait, what? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
This,
like,
well,
what?
this goes hand in hand with a Screen Rant headline I saw that I didn't click, so I didn't want any spoilers. It says Luke Cage ends in a weird but interesting place.
See, I know which article you're talking about, and I know what you're saying, John. It's just that they end in a way, because just in case I'm not here for the ending of this, they end in the setup for a plot of an actual comic book story.
It's interesting because I would actually say the same thing kind of applies to season 1 in that I agree that the season 1 kind of goes downhill. I think it picks up in episode 11 and 12, just from my memory. It sort of gains some steam again. And then episode 13, it's Luke in prison or like in jail waiting to get sentenced or whatever.
Yeah,
it's a lot of like talking at each other and people having a conversation about things.
Yeah,
You know what's weird is that
similar
like
to
I think a lot of these shows do have a dip in quality towards the end, except for Iron Fist had episodes I liked the most in that season in like the last half or last quarter.
Well, that's because the first half was so god awful.
Well, because the first 4 can just be like shot into space.
Condensed to 30 minutes of Danny Rand walking around going like, "I'm Danny Rand." No, you're not.
Right.
I'm
Get
Danny
out.
Rand. I'm gonna pout and also be kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Eagle flashback.
Yeah, and just to get it out there,
awesome in this season.
I have heard and I've seen the clip on YouTube. The word around is that Danny Rand does show up in the show, and they immediately rehab him.
He is, but I'm going to try to not spoil this. He is both good, expresses that he learned lessons from both his show and Defenders.
Yes, that's what I'm here for.
The choreography is, although not Daredevil level, I think they took an interesting route in. This may sound like nitpicky, but they changed. Like I think in Iron Fist, they tried to do a shitty version of Daredevil.
Yes,
lighting.
this is true.
And in
Yes.
this, they actually do they give him a different style that makes more sense and looks better coming from this actor.
Well, I read something about Iron Fist season 1, and Finn Jones was apparently telling people after they wrapped that he was learning those fight sequences from choreography to everything 15 minutes before filming.
I think
Yeah, that
Kevin
makes
Smith talks about it on an episode of Batman that they were doing Iron Fist like they do Supergirl and Flash, where you see a stunt person comes in, shows them a thing, and then they do the thing.
Right.
They cut. And
That's what I heard as well.
This is
Wow,
different.
It's actually kind of impressive for like Arrow and stuff.
Mhm.
Well, they
Yeah,
didn't
obviously the Arrow fight sequence is more impressive because
No,
those
yeah.
are longer.
Kevin
Yeah.
Smith specifically said that because he's only directed Flash and Supergirl.
Right.
They do there.
Yeah, because he has a weird beef with Mark Guggenheim. Because whatever.
I mean,
I still don't know why.
I have
but...
a weird beef with Mark Guggenheim, but you know,
Wait,
doesn't?
what's your beef with Mark Guggenheim?
I just don't think he's a very good writer.
I mean,
I remember his comics from like 6, 7, 8 years ago. I thought his Green Lantern fill-ins, and I'm not even like a Jeff Johns Green Lantern guy, but like I thought the Guggenheim fill-ins were like the fucking shits. He did like a follow-up of X-Men or Young X-Men after New X-Men ended, and that was like the fucking shits also. Like, I'm not a big fan of his X-Men Gold right now.
I'm not gonna fight you on this because after Andrew Kreisberg died, because he's dead to us. He's after he died, all the shows went downward in quality.
It's funny you mention that because like we have basically thrown the blame for Flash season 4 being the just fucking train wreck it was on his shoulders because part of it's not his fault because Kreisberg was excommunicated and we're theorizing that he had the keys to the story.
Wait, okay.
On at least half the shows.
At what point did Flash get bad in your guys' eyes?
I like seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
a lot.
We struggled through season 3 and we somehow survived.
The last episode of Flash I ever watched was like when his dad got out of prison, like everything was like coming up Barry Allen, and then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go change some shit.
I'm gonna go Flashpoint.
Yeah, and I was like, this is the dumbest shit. Fuck this show.
No,
I've never seen an episode after it.
That is the actually the point where the quality dip begins because Flashpoint is handled in such a ham-fisted way, and then it's over in an episode, and its effects are menial at best. And then Savitar, and oh my God, Savitar!
John, I think you're just really good at seeing where things will go, compared to me, who at the end of Arrow season 3, I was like, "There's no way that they can mess it all up again. There's no way that they could screw up the way that they did before."
But yeah,
so wrong.
Supergirl dipped in quality.
Yeah.
Arrow we're under the impression that Arrow has gotten better the last 2 seasons.
And
And
Yes.
Legends of Tomorrow has basically stayed the course.
Mhm.
Legends of Tomorrow is like went from this is kind of bad to
It's kind of okay to
Well,
like.
'cause I'm pretty sure Legends was done before they. I'm pretty sure like it was all like the whole thing was probably done before Kreisberg left.
Yeah.
Black Lightning is an independent thing mostly. It's got some input from Berlanti, but it's its own animal. So I can see how like Kreisberg was always very hands-on with Flash and always more hands-on with Supergirl than he was the other
Actually,
shows.
to compare the Netflix stuff to the DC stuff, one of actually the strengths the Netflix stuff has over the DC stuff on CW is season length, because I would gladly take a mediocre Luke Cage season 1 that's only 13 episodes and get through it in a moderate amount of time and go, oh, that wasn't bad. Then,
Right.
as we did, because it was essentially court-appointed viewing with The Flash, we're like, this is miserable, and I want it to stop.
Yeah.
Flash becomes a test in patience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't watch network television shows anymore because it's like, it's
Oh, I understand completely.
it's 22 to 24 hour long episodes. It's like I have no time in my life for this shit. I still have to like I was like we were talking in the chat before the show started where like I just finished Luke Cage, like I just finished Voltron, and it's like I also have to finish Devilman Crybaby before next week. And someone says like, has anyone watched Cloak and Dagger? And I'm like, there's just like too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta wait for Castlevania season 2.
Yeah, like Castlevania season 2. Like, there's a bunch of anime I still need to watch currently that my coworkers are not spoiling for me, thankfully.
Oh,
Right.
I am lagging on Dragon Ball Super because I was one of those people who was like, there's no way Dragon Ball Z can come back and be good in 2017 or 2018.
Yeah,
And it was.
Because Dragon Ball Heroes comes out like in a week.
Yeah.
I'm like really excited because like I haven't watched a whole lot of Dragon Ball Super, but like on the few times because I don't have cable, and the few times I work conventions, I've been able to see some of the episodes of Super, and I saw the Goku Black stuff, and I'm like, okay, like outside of like the really bad animation of the show, like this stuff is like pretty sweet. And I saw an ad because I'm watching the new Fooly Cooly, and I saw an ad for this week's Dragon Ball Super, and they have the character from Dr. Slump, and I'm like, I'm super glad that like Dragon Ball Super is willing to do like the out of continuity, really fun episodes.
Well, like,
Yeah.
The first like couple episodes of Dragon Ball Super is Vegeta just like fucking off from a family vacation.
Like that's
Yeah.
awesome. Like,
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like, Goku, Hercule returning the money he won for supposedly beating Majin Buu and gives it to Goku and his family so they can live.
yeah, like I love Dragon Ball Kai because I think Kai like cuts away like a lot of the fat and makes the original Dragon Ball Z a lot more palatable. But I do hate that it also cuts away like the episode where like Goku and Piccolo learned how to drive a car.
See, but that's why you don't need to watch Drive. You're
I want an episode of Luke Cage where he just like doesn't know how to drive a car and he learns, or some weird shit like that.
Well, I love like stupid superhero comedy of them just trying to adjust to a normal situation. Like, who's to say Luke wouldn't be driving, get angry, and rip the steering wheel out?
Or like Thor having an creamsicle for the first time.
Oh yeah.
But I think like this show actually does have like those moments where I think it's like the first big fight where Luke Cage like shows up to a place and they all pull out their gun and he's like, really? And he's
really?
like,
And the guy's like, never know until you try.
yeah, never know.
Well, they address it multiple times because they say like, oh, we like people don't know if it's a myth or if it's real.
I like the fact that Cockroach took that myth so seriously he showed up with an 8-barreled shotgun.
That was great.
That was
the best.
Let's be honest. Yeah, that thing knocked Luke out of a window. That thing would have blasted Cockroach's collarbone into the sun.
Well, my favorite part of it is it actually did damage, but internally because like it didn't pierce him.
Yeah.
But the force actually dislocated his shoulder.
And that's one of the things I like about Luke's powers is that he is only nearly indestructible on the outside.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like, and then he talks about with Claire. He's like, "Oh, I tried to do it," and she's like, "Would you try to do that lethal weapon shit? That only works in the movies."
And like Luke could be killed by poison easily.
Drowned,
Yeah.
I could feed him dynamite like in The Mask.
poison.
Now here's the theory: if Luke Cage swallowed a dynamite, would he only blow up on the inside and just like fall down dead as his organs are just
That's
a
a
big
good
pile
question.
of mush? Like,
I would say yes.
I would think.
I mean-
I would think so.
It would be like when in the movies
Wasn't that-
they drop a nuke in the ocean and it just kind of like balloons at the top and then sinks back in.
I mean, another question.
I
And
mean,
this
that kind of
this
happened
is
with the Judas bullet.
this is horrific. What I'm about to say, but what if Ant-Man went inside of him and then just kept on growing like?
Oh, you mean
God.
like what?
Man?
Oh,
They
you
would
mean
both
like what
die.
he did in the Ultimates?
Oh God!
He does do that in the Ultimates.
who did he do that
Wait,
to? I
right?
forget.
To specifically Luke Cage or to
No,
No.
no, Black Widow.
That's even worse.
Wait, he does it to Black Widow?
I don't. Well, Black Widow in the Ultimate Universe is a piece of shit. And she's
No,
right? She's like a Russian spy.
Everybody's a piece of shit in Ultimates. You're not being very.
But-
Absolutely.
But specifically though,
you-
Luke Cage, what would happen? Would he just be Ant-Man like wearing a Luke Cage suit? Like,
Yes, they would both die.
Edgar, why is your skin all hanging off there?
But basically, yeah, I think he would be like all his stuff would get pushed out of his orifices.
right?
Oh.
And he'd be a giant.
Hank would be wearing a
Man.
Luke Cage armor, like
With-
with, the
with-
lion.
Yeah. Oh God.
Imagine if he was like if he was somehow killed and dissected and his skin was sold as armor.
What if
Wow.
Didn't that also like not to throw shade just in Marvel, like didn't that dumb shit also happen Forever Evil?
probably?
Wait, like what do you mean?
Don't they have like a character that can grow in that Forever Evil group, and like didn't
Oh,
they
yeah,
also
yeah,
like
yeah.
grow big and
Micro-
blow someone up?
Micro or Micron, the girl.
Yeah.
She
I don't
like
remember what she does because she's boyfriend girlfriend with Johnny Quick.
doesn't she like kill Cyborg? She helps Cyborg like get taken over by that one
Yeah,
creature
Cyborg
or
gets
whatever.
taken over by like a virus.
Oh, is that Grid?
Yes.
Yeah, he becomes Grid, and Cyborg is just like on the ground, like
Cyborg's basically like a
half a
dying.
person.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like half a face and a heart, and then like some chest parts.
Yeah, he's RoboCop.
Yep.
Kind of interesting little conversation we've gotten here. What can you kill Luke Cage with?
Knives. That's a no.
Adamantium?
Would adamantium cut through?
No,
Luke?
they've done it in the comics. That's the one thing because I can't remember in what was the Skrulls thing, Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
did something
Yeah.
to Luke, and they had to use a adamantium needle to pierce his lung.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So like adamantium's the only thing that can pierce his skin.
Okay.
Hey,
I
but,
wonder.
you know,
I wonder what vibranium would do then, or if his
Well,
Kill him.
vibranium isn't like it's like a reactive metal.
right, but still, like,
It's like the most shock absorbent substance in the planet, isn't
What
it?
if like
yeah,
I would say like if anything, like Luke's skin is like vibranium.
yeah, that's what
what
I'm
would
thinking.
happen if a nuke went off in Luke Cage's asshole?
Inside of it?
Probably a very similar thing with the dynamite, except his insides would come out of his eyeballs at a much faster rate.
Was it inside of it or outside of it?
No, it's inside, obviously.
Well, then he just like melts on the inside.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he might
would, like,
contain he might contain the radiation. So
He's
it's
also,
not-
like-
yeah, he might, depending
also
on how hard he can clench.
It's also like Mortal Kombat fatalities. Who was it that said the Bushmaster reminded him of a Mortal Kombat character? Was that
That's
you?
me.
Hunter?
That was me.
He does kind of remind me of a Mortal Kombat
He is.
character.
He's
Like,
got,
All right, we're devolving into craziness right now.
Which
are.
one?
He's
he's
much
got
more like
Capiera. He's got
the-
knives.
the one Street Fighter character.
Oh, Lord?
Elena.
No, the one that's from like the third one that's in the movie, but they don't really talk about him. The Jamaican guy. He has the exact same
DJ.
thing.
Oh, DJ.
Yeah,
DJ.
because he's so boisterous and like loud.
Well, like DJ's more fun.
Yeah.
No, Bushmaster is fun when he stabs people.
I mean,
DJ has literally not stopped smiling since he was born.
Yeah.
But I think we've wrapped up episodes 1 through 4 in Luke Cage season 2.
Yeah, I mean, I guess final thoughts is a good way to sort of.
I am very
And-
excited to watch the rest of the show, and I wasn't enthralled by Jessica Jones season 2, and not because the quality I thought was bad, just because my enthusiasm for these shows has been down. It carried through Punisher. And I think it's like post Defenders kind of blues, where it's like that wasn't what I really wanted it to be, but okay. So now I'm pleasantly excited to go through Luke Cage season 2.
Yeah, this is like a huge step over Jessica Jones. I feel like where like Jessica Jones season 2, like the A and the B and the C plot of those shows like have nothing really to do with each other. You feel super disconnected, and then try and like force them back together by the end of the show.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
The A plot with Luke Cage, the B plot with Bushmaster, and the C plot with Mariah, like they all work together, and by the end, like everything works. Like everything works together.
Well, just in these four first episodes, I can tell that those three elements seem to kind of have this rotating nature to them, where one of them kind of is a catalyst or a causality to the other one's like current drama.
Yeah. Well, I would say
I do want to say I do like how they embrace kind of like the comic booky kind of like craziness, where it's like Bushmaster is a character who's goddamn insane. Like if you had to describe him to somebody, like he's a Jamaican who like uses voodoo.
He's a Jamaican who can squeeze bullets out of his pectoral muscles by thinking about it really hard.
Yeah, he killed a man by slicing his eyeballs out.
Sliced his skull in half.
So fucking gruesome. Turned him into Cyclops.
Okay, but like, so Bushmaster does that, and then he like goes to his family's diner and just like hangs out, and he's like hugging people and like having a good time. It's like
this guy's a sadist, man.
There's probably brain on your hands still.
my favorite part is you can leave his brother thinking that he's faster than Usain Bolt.
I also
that's like a really funny like ongoing joke in that show.
It goes on for the whole
that plays into this thing I have with Bushmaster, and that he's amusing to me because his villainy towards Luke Cage seems to be built on the idea that like nobody will shut the fuck up about him around him. He's like, "Who did Luke Cage?" And everybody's like, "He's great. He's bulletproof," and blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Please shut up. I'm tired of hearing this.
Like,
I'm gonna kick him into the face."
Well,
like he doesn't really care about Luke that much.
The people on the street say that, but then he goes to that diner and they're like, "Yeah, they say like he's faster than Usain Bolt. Like, what the fuck is that bullshit?" And like Luke Cage goes down there before he kind of even like really knows what's going on, and they all make fun of him.
Oh, I love that sequence because he shows up and they immediately start talking shit at him, and he flexes his muscles, and they're like, "This isn't Harlem. Get out of here!" And he just leaves. He's like, "Yeah, they're right."
Oh man,
I have no influence here.
Okay. I actually agree a lot with what John said, even though I did like Jessica Jones season 2 quite a bit. The individual plots didn't come together, and so far, Luke Cage season 2 is coming together really well. All the subplots are really working very well. I like how interconnected it is. That's something that I've always had a problem with on the Netflix shows, is they never felt interconnected enough to me, even compared to the movies.
Yeah.
They always felt like just the bare minimum here. We'll throw in Hogarth for like a second, or we'll throw in Foggy for a second, and then nothing else, nothing at all. You know, you don't see a lot of newspapers with the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. You don't see, the report of Kilgrave and him, dying on television. None of that stuff really affects the other shows. And this one, like, almost immediately you feel the impact of Defenders and the other shows. So that's something I really enjoy so far. And I think that this show, it just feels entertaining, which is something that I like. It feels different from the first season quite a bit, but it still works. And it still feels of a piece while being very different in terms of tone.
But going back to the silliness for a second, like the drastic change it's surprising how well that works, because it's like if you compare Bushmaster to say Cottonmouth, like
or even Diamondback, like Diamondback is so uninteresting compared to Bushmaster. Immediately.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there at all. I don't really want to speculate. I think that they just didn't cast the right actor.
Well, it's almost like they lost faith in the character like halfway through the writing process. Like, this doesn't work, but we're stuck with him.
Yeah, like they gave him an interesting origin, and I think the episode that I've called Die Hard with Luke Cage. I think that episode works really well, and he's good in that episode, but he kind of falls flat at various points.
Well, and like the death knell was him showing up in that stupid suit.
Yeah, which should have been cool. Like
I agree with Arlen that like I think it came to the actor's portrayal because the problem with Diamondback is that he's cartoonish.
Yeah.
That actor played it straight or not as over
He
the
says
top.
some ridiculous shit in that show.
Like, yeah, exactly. He plays it so over the top. Like he went to the Jada Pinkett School of Acting.
Right. Here's the thing, that would work in this season though. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
His performance would work very well in this season. And I don't even mean that it's necessarily the actor in terms of like that his performance is bad. I just think that he's the wrong actor for the role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think he's the wrong actor for the role. I don't think that portrayal would fit into this season.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess if
I think it would fit better. I mean, I don't mean it would.
Yeah.
I don't mean it would like fit in perfectly, but compared to last season, I think that performance would work much better. And again, I really do think though that Die Hard episode really works because he's, but it's mostly over the radio. That's the thing. It's him like taunting Luke. And I think that that's where he works best, where he's not there on screen. And I think by the time you have him in that weird like G.I. Joe knockoff costume,
goddamn
It
Power
does
Ranger.
look like a G.I. Joe character.
it does. It's so
he's
or
wearing,
like
a
the
green onesie.
well,
Like,
yeah.
it's like a janitor of a high school.
It looks
Yeah.
like a very like oversimplified Bane costume.
Mm-hmm. It's just not. It just
And
does not work.
his funny little visor. God, that was my favorite part.
Ugh,
Yeah.
just hurting me.
Anyways,
Anybody
I was-
else? Oh, go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, I was
Lou,
just
yeah,
saying, like,
Lou.
the big things I got from this season are they compared to especially like Jessica Jones. I would say there's a lot of comparisons to Jessica Jones season 2 because these are both the post Defenders shows.
Mm-hmm.
The charismatic antagonists in this season are so much better, so much more
Mhm.
fleshed out, and they give you backstory for both of them, including the last season of Luke Cage, where you're sympathetic enough where you understand why they are the people that they are when you are in the show. Like you guys haven't gotten to it, but like when you get to Bushmaster's backstory and his life,
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, yeah, fuck these people.
Is it as good as the Kingpins? Because I think it's one of my favorite episodes of Daredevil.
Possibly better. to
Okay.
me. There is a lot of, I would say this season compared to any other, there's a lot more you can compare to that first season of Daredevil. There's a lot of similarities there. And the other part that I liked about this season is that the city feels like a city. You're so much more, New York is so much more fleshed out. You're not stuck in this kind of 2x4 neighborhood. Everything's wonky. You get to visit other things because we got to see the I can't remember his name, but he was like the Mexican guy, the furniture guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh, El Rey.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they discuss and you get to see a bunch of other gangs. Like there's a lot of gang stuff. We see them, Puerto Rican gangs, obviously the Jamaicans, Italians, Koreans. There's like a whole bunch of other gangs. This season plays out to me much more like a fistful of dollars, and it works for this character.
Interesting.
And I think it's the way to do Luke Cage, because like I think they talk about it throughout the entire season. He's a guy trying to put a Band-Aid on a dam.
Yeah, and they talk about that in episode like 1 or 2.
Yeah,
Like every corner he shuts down that's peddling drugs, 2 more pop up.
he can't do any, like he's running around, he'll stop one thing and 2 more pop up, because again he's a guy that's in Harlem in New York and he's trying to stop crime in a city that's had crime since it was created.
Yeah, it's very much a Gotham City problem where it's at the point of Gotham. The point Gotham is at, it's never going back to normal. So this crusade is never ending.
Yeah. I think the last
Granted,
was
Gotham
actually-
is far worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, because Gotham is a fictional place, so they can make it as bad as they want.
Yeah.
In this
Right.
world, Harlem is a reflection of the real world.
Well, and
Mhm.
actually, comparatively speaking, I like Gotham City, and I actually like how, in comparison to this, how Harlem reacts to Luke, and like how there is kind of a pushback feel. like everything does seems like it has like community wide effects.
Yeah, well,
And I
love
like
the
that,
fact
and
it's
like I like that.
goofy
One of the reasons I
back.
love Gotham City as like an entity is because it seems like everything that happens in Gotham has some sort of eventual pushback that just makes things worse.
Well, one of the things I liked was how goofy that they had the like Find a Hero app or whatever it was called.
Oh, the Find Luke Cage app, or the Hero for
Yeah.
Hire app.
Yeah, and it just keeps fucking him over because anytime he wants to do something, the bad guys show up. It's like, why doesn't we have the app?
Hero for Hire app.
Yeah,
We all have smartphones.
That's actually like it plays like a kind of a role in the show, but like I thought that was going to be like it doesn't play like any larger role.
it's a good excuse to have bad guys just show up in places where he is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? You're right.
It's a handy narrative tool because you can kind of explain away anyone's presence that's might be over convenient, but saying like, oh, Hero for Hire app. Yeah, everybody's taking pictures of you everywhere you go.
Yeah, but they would.
Yeah, exactly. Yup.
The other thing I want to say is that like I think that my favorite part of this season overall, again because I might not be here for the other episodes, is like I think they did such a great job with Misty. Like,
Oh yeah, no, her stuff has been really, really enthralling.
because this is almost, I know that it's called Luke Cage, but it's almost like Luke Cage and Misty. Like she's as much of a lead character as he is in this season.
And as I've said when we opened the show, I really like the fact that Misty has to deal with her coworkers who are all a bunch of schoolyard children.
Yeah.
Especially who is that rival cop that shows up who's
Oh,
just consistently catty to her?
I don't know.
the Spanish girl. Like,
Yeah.
She's messing with Sexy Will Graham, and I'm not into it. She's not. I'm not into
she
that, man.
talked
Like-
about a Misty Knight.
Like
She
that's
is-
we that's our name for Misty Knight is Sexy Will Graham.
I love her.
Because she's a super detective. She shows up at a crime
Right.
scene and just puts it all together in her head.
Yeah, we get to see her like not do it, not have the pendulum swing scene or whatever.
The other girl
Right.
is like a girl. I think the backstory is that they went to high school together or college.
Something like that, or
They
she
play
was. I think
basketball.
it was the academy that they said that she
No,
like.
they know each other from farther back because
Oh, okay.
every little thing that the show drops gets tied into something else later on,
Hmm.
which is something I really
Ah.
like about the season. Like there is no loose threads.
Interesting.
All right, you want to wrap?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Alrighty. I've been Connor McGraw. Movie Dumpsters out. Well, actually, Tetsuo the Iron Man should be out soon. That was a really fun episode because all of us liked it, and two of us hadn't seen it before. Tetsuo is a very strange experimental Japanese film from 1988.
Where someone turns
that's-
into a cannon.
So no, that's Tetsuo 3. Tetsuo the Iron Man is a very strange, aggressive cyberpunk movie that I think everyone should go track down.
All right. AA Haro on all the socials and things and whatever. You guys can find me. Lost Haro podcast every single week except for 4 because why not? I think if things go well, the second episode of our De Palma thing that we're doing should be coming out this Friday. Last Friday's episode is a Vault episode from when we were still testing the show. So go listen to that if you want to hear our opinions on Atomic Blonde, among other things from last year. So yeah, go check that out.
Yeah. I don't follow me anywhere. Fuck you. Go outside, read a book, ride a bike, go talk to a girl, do something.
I'm telling you, this is eventually going to evolve to shut your radios off and get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, right?
All right, me.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go last.
So I'm John_Evan_Seiler on Twitter, or if you just look up Faku, you can probably find me there. If you are in the Los Angeles area next weekend, I will be working Anime Expo for Faku. We have a dance party Friday night that's open to the public. We have an industry panel that's Saturday night, and another panel that is also Saturday night. Our special guest for it is Kami Kato, who, if you're a fan of Spice and Wolf, did the art for the manga for Spice and Wolf. So, yeah, that's pretty much me.
Damn.
All right, so I'm Lou A. Gonzalez on everything. You can catch me and Arlen, who we've talked about on Smallville Chronicles. The last episode had on. Oh my god, I just blanked the name. The guy who voiced Zoom,
Oh, Tony Todd.
Oh.
Tony Todd, as in the episode Jitters. Basically, he gets irradiated with meteorite, and he shakes a lot and kills people by accident.
I love it.
It was supposed to be the second episode in the series, but they cut it into like the sixth, and it really makes a lot more sense if you think of it as a second episode in the series. But we did discover in our last recording that a person in the next Marvel MCU movie appears in 5 episodes of the Smallville series.
And it's Chris Evans.
Nope. What do you
I
think?
mean, his early career is pretty strange. It wouldn't surprise me.
So the next MCU movie is Ant-Man. So who do you think would appear in 5 episodes of Smallville?
Lawrence
Oh. Is it
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah.
And she appears in the next episode we're going to be recording as girlfriend, and then 4 or 5 others as
As she roasted every guy in the MCU.
as just an extra. Yeah,
She's good. She's great.
She's amazing. I love her.
Yeah, she's great in those god awful Hobbit movies. So
I feel so bad for her in those Hobbit movies because
Yep.
there was like a actual interview with her where she was like talking about how she would like do those Hobbit films, but she didn't want to be in like some kind of like love triangle romance, and then like they were like, oh yeah, we're not gonna do that, and then they immediately do a rewrite and they put her in love triangle romance.
So now she's going to be the one that probably survives the snap.
I mean,
Oh, that'd be good.
Well,
It's gonna
I
be
mean,
Lawrence Fishburne.
I've always thought it'd be interesting if it was Scott being stuck with Michelle Pfeiffer, but
I
Seriously.
don't
What?
think
Okay,
so.
what if it's Wasp and Cassie Lang?
Well,
Oh.
I'm going to shoot this down because just Avengers
Yeah.
4 set
Yeah.
photos disproves this all immediately.
we know Scott is going to be there.
Yeah.
but we don't know Michelle Pfeiffer if she'll be dusted or not. Which
Scott's gonna show up and he's gonna be like, he's gonna be the MCU's dad. He's just gonna be like, Thanos, come here. I need to have a heart to heart.
right, and then he's going to have a dance off.
That's right.
And
With
That's
Chris
the wrong
Pratt.
character.
Alrighty, that's been the show, everybody. I don't have anything else to say for the close of the show, so bye!
bye.
Fuck X-Men Apocalypse.
Kiss me backside.
Fuck Chris Hardwick. Bye.
Yeah, fuck it, Chris Hardwick. Bye.
Kiss Hardwick. Yes, this is foul.
Hunter, what are you doing? You doing Jabba?
I'm doing the Paul Rudd Ant-Man laugh.
Okay, the show's over.